all of this registration brouhaha?
Well, it's an interesting phase of our political development and political history. The issue is this: a political party is an association of men or women who come together through a common purpose of gaining political power and remaining in power as much as possible. But we must be able to differentiate between a political movement, a political association, and a registered political party. If you take Action Group, he had NNDP again that contested election in First Republic. But when we were transiting in Second Republic, the then FEDECO had a strict registration procedure, which then had the procedure that you must have spread within the entire country to qualify. And one interesting phenomenon came out in the Second Republic, which you must bear in mind, that the association that formed MPP, also a breakaway from the then MPP, formed Great Nigerian People's Party, which was Wazir Ibrahim's group. Now we have had a situation which we must bear in mind now, that when we started in 1999, only two political parties, PDP and APP then, succeeded with the spread. But because there was a provision in our Electoral Act that a third political party must be registered, that was why then Alliance for Democracy had registration, because it did not make the spread. But the case of INEC and MOSA, which then opened the political space because of conceived irregularities in registration of political parties after 1999, now opened the way for a lot of political parties to come up. And we saw INEC on his own taking a sanitization move to reduce these political parties to what we have now. And when we are somebody within this medium, I supported the deregistration of those political parties, because they were constituting really a very big drain on the pulse of the country, and secondly, they were constituting a political nuisance. Like I said then, that 80% of them had political party offices with address in Barnes Plaza that were not in existence. But what has come up now, which you will see, is that within the last exercise by INEC, if we go into INEC, we will see APC as a registered political party. Because what we had in this presentation, that they have been on for 2 years. Now, if it was not a political party, as at then when INEC did that, when did it now come up? And then an interesting issue now is this. When you have political parties, they have board of trustees, they call for manifesto, they call for other procedure, which INEC will now be really moved to on all these controversies. If they had now had, like, if we are going to Corporate Affairs Commission, under Part C or Incorporation of Registered Trustees, you need 21 days advertisement in any of the media to show who are involved. And now we need this because of what is now playing out in the open. So what I'm saying is that it is more or less the usual Nigerian culture of people going to the extreme, which may not even be a matter of politics, but now the political and legal right for registration of political parties lies with INEC, and there is no other way if they have set a criteria. So that is my take as at the moment in this issue.
Well, the way it is, going down memory lane, telling us about, giving us some historical facts as well as some legal precedents, what we're talking about at this point in time, looking at some of the documents that have been shown by the chairman of the African People's Congress, does INEC stand, or does the party stand a chance in all of this?
Now, the issue is, like I said, the criteria lies with INEC, and it's a question of criteria and political spread, which will now be a public issue, because we are in a terrorist setting where any person can go in tomorrow. We should bear in mind even the security or social and economic risk involved in what we are doing. If any person can go in tomorrow and by application you register him as a political party, there are so many issues we must bear in mind in calling that. Now at the issue, if they have presented, like if I go to Corporate Affairs Commission, more often than not, they have even, after their availability, rejected registration of names. And like I said, a team came up now, when Okoria and his group wanted to register OPGA as a political party. They were not agreed, though one will say, do you have passing off rule in political parties? Then this must be, we must bear this in mind. And then secondly, apart from INEC, when he gives his own reason for refusal of registration, and this is where transparency, like I said, will come in, administrative logistics. When they applied, who are the trustees? And when these issues, what area of the country have you covered to register as a political party? Like I said, we have now watered down the criteria due to the issue, the case of INEC and Mosa by Supreme Court jurisdiction then. Now, we can no longer go on that, like I said, that the terrain have changed. The drain on the financial cost of these political parties, when you have almost 50 political parties, and then in the end, not even one of the political parties can win a ward election. I have always given an example with NAP, which was registered in 1978. Up to this moment, NAP have not been able to win one ward election. So when we aggregate all this, then we now have to give INEC the opportunity to take a look at most of these things, and then based on public policy, overriding public policy, know if at this moment we need a plethora or all-comers group as political parties. So that is what we have to bear in mind. Like I said, if they present their requirements to INEC, it is now within INEC discretion. You cannot tell them what to do. Like I have said, more often than not, even after availability has been granted by CAC, you see them coming up with one reason or the other to reject a name which they have granted initially, and you have no other thing to do than to abide by them.
So, are you convinced in the case of the APC that INEC is truly fair, transparent, and being objective here? I mean, in the case of the African People's Congress.
I am not really standing for any of the groups. The issue here is this, and you see what their contest is on the acronym APC, not even on the name they have taken. But where I was really disturbed by INEC, I have to say this, is that there seems to be a room where those documents are leaked. Because if you see what they were saying, before official transaction of these issues, if you deposit, there seems to be a means of leaking these documents to the public, which heighten this controversy. Because if they are applied, and then INEC say we have given 7 days, we have gone on verification, and then you don't have national spread. And when you are contesting, like I said, we are there a political movement, we are there a political association, before coming into being a political party. And when you have applied, now these are basic reasons for rejecting you this application. If they do that without heightening, because they seem now to be in the know or in possession of even INEC reaction through the newspapers and the rest, which was not a formal. This is really a disturbing situation to a public office of that sensitivity or of that grave integrity rating. That is my take on it.
But what we have seen now, INEC did not reject the application for registration based on the acronym. They rejected based on section 222, which says that no association by whatever name called shall function as a political party unless A, the names and addresses of its national officers are registered with the Independent National Electoral Commission. So it seems they're faulting this particular group for the absence of the names and addresses of their national officers.
Yes, if that is their procedural standard for them, and they abide by this, now there's no problem in that. That, like I said, the onus to register political party lies with the INEC. Like I told you, in the Second Republic, NAP seemed to have a what? An overriding influence in most of the states then. Then we were on 12 states. But they were rejected registration. Later, when they were registered, the then UPN felt that NAP was registered to undermine UPN's interest then. And eventually, because like I said, you must look at political parties. Politicians are the same all over the world. They build bridges even when there are no rivers. And it is time we now look at most of these issues of registration of political parties. Take the issue of number one Labour man then, who is today the governor of Edo State, Oshomole. When he left the Labour Party and joined the Action Congress, did he now have a new poster or did he abandon his former call? The political party continued until Mimiko now single-handedly took it.